Fancy seeing you here. We are watching some more Mushoku Tensei. Really having a nice life for himself. Now being completely upended thanks to a letter from his family's father's close friend and colleague and fellow adventurer. Basically saying, well, shite. We need some help here. And Rudy's the only one that can answer that call, so back on the trail on for another adventure, which usually would be a good thing. Although it is slightly complicated by the fact that now Sufiyet is going to be left at home while potentially pregnant for a few years. We were told how long it would take to actually get there and back. What kind of trouble is going to brew while he's away? I have no idea. I'm kind of worried to find out. But this show has been quite interesting in multiple ways, so I wonder how it's actually going to be handled, the conversation between them. Let's find out. So what, he sought out Elenis to... Oh, Elenis... to help him stay strong on that decision. It is a tough road ahead of him. Having someone that he knows along with for the journey, and not only that, but is proven strong as well. Not like their first adventure through the Demon Lands with Rudy and Eris and the like. Are you going to bring up the invention that Cliff had? Good to set up some ground rules. So she's willing to just disappear on him? I mean, not... Yeah, Rudy's kind of doing the same thing, kind of avoiding talking to Sylvie about it, but he's not just not doing it. It's putting it off until he is resolved and can't back out. Oh yeah, what about her with her research? Can she afford him to be away for a few years? Which means that he can no longer help out for the research or the mana projection, the like in it. Yeah, this one was going to be a tough one. There are others here that she knows she can at least talk to for her help now. Can she put up with it for 2 years? It's been, what, 60 so far, or 18 so far, however old he is. She's not telling him a contract? Ha! Is this a shortcut? That will cut off some time. How long will it kill? Of course, that wasn't exactly true. I see. Cutting it down to that degree, having knowledge that would be possibly heretical if actually got into the wider wider news and knowledge. Well, thanks to this, he can. Help can come from the most surprising of places. Much like the others had poured in some effort when they didn't need to help her out. Also, not having to, well, both for Sylphiette, but the pool and the family and whatnot, not having to wait that year for Rudy to arrive. That's definitely going to up the chances of any potential survival for them all. But with such a short notice and letter that was actually left for them, what is on the other side of it all? And I just hope that in this escapade, nothing more is going to be lost instead of gained. It's not quite disappearing if you have a thought-out talk before it. There we go. Not quite semantics, but it's necessary. He's going to have to say 2 years, but I guess he can trust them. Well, that was... yeah. Her hearing those words after everything that they've all been through. We'll have to believe him. Will she still get stipends and a wage for helping out around the house? They'll probably be relying on her a fair bit. You said you'd be back before the birth. That is a superstition in this world. Setting up as many flags as possible. Well, I guess a temporary namesake. After everything that they've... I thought they were going to stop him again, be be proper considering her condition. Yeah, since the issue with Rudyard. I mean, it is good to... That is a healthy-looking horse. It's a good idea to do his research before he heads out. Just in, out, quick 15-minute adventure, right? Cliff is there as well, so they've had that healthy conversation. It definitely a little better than that massive metal girdle thing before. He's seen Rudy make strides in his life. Doesn't want to get left behind there. And yet that was, in a way, to try and not hurt him any further than that. I mean, is she going to ask him to marry him as well? Marry her? I mean, it's a bit late for that one. And seeing Norn now stand out on herself and be behind them. Well, if her grandmother says so. Having... Well, it wasn't part of the... wasn't during the conversation, but she did shed a tear. If she hadn't, from all of this, I'd be questioning it slightly. So they got that far, the rest is up to them. As the music fades out into the sounds of nature, their journey ahead of them filled with, well, fraught with danger. Hopefully it's not been destroyed through the eons. Oh, is it hidden? And is there going to be issues of him calling on this teleportation sigil where some people are going to take notice of it? Like the ripples in space as the barrier is lifted. Was it just a visibility barrier? That would be why moss and lichen can keep growing over it. Doesn't need to see. An eerie glow. Perfect. It would be best to check to make sure it is before stepping on. Especially since we've... I don't know if you've seen it. I might be thinking of Freeman or something, but traps and other types of sigils and magic circles aren't there. Okay. Well, most of them have. Not gonna back out now, are you? How's it feel to be teleported, though? I sometimes get travel sick and queasy. Did it very much different. No overgrown. Instantly recharged? Well, make sure to make it back then. You don't want to really do the journey alone. How long's it been? An hour or two? We didn't actually check to see how long it takes to activate and go. They might have been stuck teleporting for hours and... Some weird time dilation, yeah. They don't feel it. It's not instantaneous. It needs a second or two, or a few minutes to kick into gear. And yeah, you could definitely see the difference in the two rooms. One overgrown and one, I thought, filled with ash, but sand also makes sense. I mean, going out in night is going to make it quite cold. They don't exactly want to be travelling under the midday sun either. So make use of the morning while they can. Good thing that he can use some water magic though to have some instant refreshment. Oh yeah, and earth to make an impromptu shelter. Hasn't been that long, has it? Good idea to step outside. Oh, Christ. Yes, go with the siren in the desert. Nothing bad could possibly go on here. Oh, that's a sudden transformation, yeah. Still, with the dress being real and not part of the transformation itself. Do they go to the tailor's? Smack him up the top of the head. There you go. In what way? What a choice of words, yeah. That's going to be held on him for quite a while. Twin-tailed scorpion. Whoa. Good of her to distract it. I was about to say, can he not create some wind barrier? Or just dissipate it entirely? I was thinking too small. Made a friend. Not really a sprawling city, but better than nothing, especially in a desert like this. And a good meal and a drink. But doesn't halt it. All I see there is a range of mountains and heat haze, and rock formations and sand. Huh? Yep, that definitely does it. Just earthbending his way up. Until he gets a little too dehydrated. A griffin! Dehydrated and can't use his magic. Ah. Well, who can take it down the fastest? Let's have a little battle. He'll be using his demon eye, which we haven't seen in a while. Ooh, all the way through? And then burn for extra measure. Duck. Huh? They work quite well together, yeah. Their teamwork can use a little bit of a touch-up, but beats having to go shopping for food. Well, I'm guessing they had quite a few exchange of words here. Oh. Okay, 16. He took a liking to him. To her. He took a liking to her, yeah. I suspect to think that there are some things best left unsaid, and knowing Paul, it could be a few things. Will she be... Okay, wow, it was something quite drastic then. But she's still coming along, if not to... for Paul's sake. Everyone... I have actually seen an image of this town, but actually seeing it there like that... Some of the world building, having a entire city within the remains of a behemoth like that. I want to know this bit of the history of how that got there. Also, how long after the beast died did someone found that city? Because you don't really want it rotting down onto your heads. But now that the 2-year round trip has been cut down drastically to hopefully only a few months, how is that going to... How's that going to impact things, considering, the man god was saying you'll regret it if you go? If they know everything that may come to be, I'm assuming they anticipated the teleportation circles. Still, I feel bad for Cliff. Mostly because, well, he knows what would have happened with Elena Lise and her curse, and with it not being, with the belt not being fully finished yet. But a conversation when you're going off on a long journey, how many people are going to be able to sit down and still keep that drive and confidence to step out and continue on it after you've had your significant others and family members want you to stay. Sylvie had showed quite a lot of, well, confidence in him, but strength by allowing him to go, considering what they're going for. But she knows, or going through, she knows what would happen if she told him not to go. He wouldn't. But then what of his mother and the rest of them? I've said what we said in the previous one. It's a tough decision all the way around, but knowing if the man god didn't say there's bad things on the horizon, then I think most of the way this is a fairly good handling of it all. But knowing that we know there's something going to kick up. What it's going to be, and to what drastic measure, and who it's going to affect, that's yet to be seen. Still, I do like the teleportation sigils. These are highly, strictly confidential. Don't tell anyone, because it would be, if it gets out that they exist, they'll be erased. Just to immediately tell his sisters and Sylviette. But don't worry, might take 2 years, but don't have to worry about that bit. Yeah, he didn't have to explain it. But they probably know the severity and don't really want to be talking too much. I'm guessing Buddy himself is going to either cause some trouble or show up when least expected, considering he's been absent off doing something else. But just like Buddy and Rudyard and whatever, we've seen so many characters that to appear and leave, much like was it Demon Lord who gave him the eye? Is she going to return at some point? Just when we need them. We don't need them. But it's hard to see this storyline and not think, there's so many other shows that wouldn't touch on some of the more, it's not even complex matters, just difficult ones that don't have a direct answer. No matter what decision he's making, he's effectively abandoning them in one way or another. How many of shows would just kind of ignore that to get on with the story and just have fun time adventure? So I appreciate Mushoku Tensei. It does some really daft stuff, but doesn't really pull its punches. But what is waiting for them once he actually gets there? Is it going to be like the opening? Sure, the opening has shown us some other stuff that turned out to be relatively close to the mark, but is his mother going to be frozen in ice? Are they going to have a drastic battle against some big monster? I'm starting to think with "You'll regret it" and Elenice not saying that she won't accept Paul's apology, I have a few theories in my head, and from that you can probably work out what I'm thinking. But to find out, we'd have to watch more. What a shame, what a pity! More Mushoku Tensei? How could I deal with that? The real question is, how can I hold her from watching the next one now? But at least we don't have to go wandering through the desert to find out for ourselves. I'm just going to stay sitting here. If you enjoyed this episode, please let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing. Join onto the Discord if you want to keep up to date with notifications. I've been so tired. And YouTube really isn't doing much. So, try to show me appreciation. Get me to continue watching some more for you. I really wouldn't be doing it without all of you. So, try and get some rest. So that I can see you for the next one.